We're going to be doing the shell, and the challenge in this shell, we're going to use 2 gouges to match up the changing radius in these 2 gouges. So the 2 gouges we're going to be using, one is the Vayner, and that's about a 1/4 inch wide. It's shaped like the letter U with straight sides, and it's a 1/4 inch wide. The other one is the number 7 chisel, and that's also about a 1/4 inch wide. We're going to use these 2 tools to do this shell. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start drawing the design, and I'm going to use a compass for that. And I already preset the radius, and I have got some of the design staged here. So basically you set the base of the compass right where the bottom of this last part of the shell. So that straight line. So that's where you set the compass on there. So if we just took and drew a straight line coming across here, and then place this in the center. Now I want to mark that center so you can see it. Make it a little darker dot. So I first scribed the circle. Then with the square, I set up the lines that I'm drawing now are the lines that are going to be the high points. So that's the lines that we want to keep. So the one I'm drawing right now is here. I'll draw the 245s and then the ones in between. And everything originates right back to that center point. Now, rather than getting out the protractor, I'm just going to estimate the center of this, the center of that, the center of this. It doesn't have to be that accurate. And I'm just going to use the ruler like a straight edge and connect those up. Then to complete the layout is just drawing. I got a circle template here, and you just draw in the circles. So that's basically all there is to doing the layout. And I'm going to take this off, and we're going to start on one that's partially done. So the layout has been done on this one. And so the way we start off, you can see the first cuts that I have is with the Vayner. That's that U-shaped chisel that's a 1/4 inch long. And we're going to go right down the center. Now, as I'm doing this, the challenge with this type of exercise is not only blending the different radiuses as it's coming in, because we're only using 2 chisels. You normally don't have a full set of chisels, and you don't need a full set of chisels to match all these radiuses. So that's part of the exercise. And the other part of the exercise is this cut that I was just making has got a rough side and a smooth side. And so we see that represented by the bristles of the brush. And so when we take the brush, and if we want to make this cut here, that line that's going up here, we match the brush with that, and this is the smooth direction. If we come down in this direction, we're ripping the fibers. For this side of this one that I'm making this cut in, you go up on this side, but you need to come down on this side. So you flip that over, and then coming down, this is the smooth side, and if you go up, that's the rough side. So you see how the different sides are alternating. So, but when I'm coming down with the Vayner, I don't really care what's the smooth side and the rough side, as long as, see, it's the wrong direction for here, as long as it doesn't split out over that line, and I don't want to lose that line. That's the high point. So this cut here, I'm making down the center, and that's to relieve where the chips are going to go. So once the cuts are made, then you take the number 7 gouge, and you just start coming in from the sides. So you just go around the end like this. And now you have to be mindful of the grain. If I was to come down on this side of this cut, we're cutting this here, one right here. If I was to come down on this side, it would be the wrong direction. What it would do is it would split and I would lose my high point. So this side here has to be coming up in this direction. And this side here, because it's straight, really doesn't make any difference, but I'm just going to switch direction and come down this way. Now the other challenge is, I got to get that little whisker off of there. As we're smoothing this up, we also have this to contend with here. So if you see the finished one, that is like a button that's raised, and these sharp points are diving down. So that will give us some area that we can come in like this. And the number 7 right now is matching up very well with that radius. And that will help us keep that clean right up against here. Okay, then we will blend this in. It doesn't make any difference if you rough them all in or finish one and then go to the other one, next one. Okay, now in blending this in, the radius on this number 7 is fairly wide. And when we're getting down in here, we can't get down to the bottom. So we can go in there and blend it with this. This is a tighter radius. But the other thing to keep in mind, that this gouge here is capable of doing a tighter radius than what is actually shown here straightforward. And you do that by going sideways. So if I was to go sideways here, see, I can make a very tight radius. So on a skew angle, so that's the way we come in, and we come in on a skew angle to make that radius tighter. Then your final cuts are just very light cuts to do the blending. Now this is a little bit of the wrong direction here, but I'm just taking off little whiskers. And I know if it's going to get caught, I can feel it before I do any damage. Then I just start on the next one. Now in doing a design like this, here again, on this side, to make that smooth cut, I need to come in this direction. And then this direction for this side to keep this high point. Now a design like this, I've never seen it with any chisel marks. So you do have the option of sanding. So almost all of these are sanded in the end. I would prefer for this exercise, though, is to get it as smooth as you can with just the chisels. That's a very good exercise. It will really improve your carving skills. It's all about controlling the chisel. So when you get down to this tight radius, we're just taking kind of little, very slow, small cuts. And then we just clean up the bottom here with the Vayner. This is also called tool-specific carving, where you're matching the radius of the tool to the shape that you're cutting. So this roundness, even though it fits here pretty well, still matches this here radius pretty good on the end. And by coming like so, you make a pretty nice match right up to the line. The rest of it is just repeated as we go around. Once you know how to do one of those and which direction you're going, and you practice that, and it takes longer than what I was just showing here, but yeah, practice it, and it's that taper coming in and that radius that's getting tighter, how to control those chisels to get that tighter. You can see many things that you're carving, the radius is constantly changing, so good exercise.